ドジャースの大谷翔平選手がダイヤモンドバックスとのオープン戦に1番 DH で2試合ぶりに出場しました。初回には打球速度約191キロの二塁打を放つなど、バッティングで好調ぶりを発揮しました。この試合で190キロを超える打球を放った大谷選手について、ロバーツ監督は、
彼は素晴らしい選手だよ
と笑いながらコメントしました。さらに、
彼は人間には不可能なくらいの強烈な打球を打つことができる。普通の選手には到底できないことだ
と絶賛しました。また、米ポッドキャスト番組ドジャーステリトリーに出演した際にも、大谷選手を称賛し、
今まさに最高の翔平を見ている。これからどんな成長を見せてくれるのか楽しみで仕方ない
と語り、大谷選手の偉大さについて熱く語りました。この模様を日本語字幕付きでお届けします。
Do we spin forward and start talking about this new look team?
Yeah, let's do it. We got some time. Let's do it.
Listen, you got yourself a hell of a starting rotation. Maybe too many pitchers. I don't know if there's ever such a thing. After you come off of, we'll say it's not quite a debacle when you go out and win a World Series, but what do you think about this staff you got lined up?
Love this staff. Obviously, getting Blake Snell this past winter, that in itself would have been a tremendous offseason.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, and just even talking to Blake and getting to know Blake, he's wanted to be a Dodger for quite some time, and that's a credit to all of us in the sense that we created an organization that is built to win in perpetuity, essentially, and players want to play for this organization, this ball club, and so getting Blake, and then obviously after Blake, a lot was talked about Roki, and this is a generational type pitcher from Japan, and we kind of put the full court press, and the players got involved, obviously the ownership and front office, and I thought everyone just nailed it as far as presentation, and he committed to us. And I do think, Clint, you just can never have enough pitching, and you got Shohei coming back at some point in time. Tyler Glass now is healthy, which is great. Dustin May is back. Big Red is back, which is great. Tony Gonsolin had a little hiccup with his back lifting weights, but he'll be back. And the thing is that if we learn anything from years past, things happen in baseball that you're always going to need healthy and viable arms. And Bobby Miller, as a guy that started off really well, and he's going to start in the minors, but he's a real talented piece, and then I expect him to help us at some point as well.
And 22 somewhere down the road as well.
And 22. How do I forget 22? So Clayton, as we sit here today, he'll throw his first bullpen tomorrow. And so, yeah, we're going to get Clayton back at some point, and his, drive and quest for 3,000 strikeouts.
I have a two-part question for you. How important is it to you for Roki Sasaki's success for him to implement a successful third pitch to use as an out pitch? And if the season started today, barring Tony Gonsolin with the weight issue, who's your fifth starter?
Yeah, you know what? I think with the Roki thing, I think his split will always be his out pitch. But I do think that being a major league starter, it's tough to have two pitches. And so for Roki to have something to go left against a right-hand hitter, I think is really important. So it's just kind of getting him the confidence in that, knowing that it might not be a wipeout pitch, but it's just to kind of keep guys off his fastball, off his split, keep him honest. So I do think it's crucial, but he's had a great spring. He's a very talented young pitcher.
Split's nasty, no?
The split's nasty. It's like on the scouting scale, there's a 20 to 80, and it's an 80 pitch. It really is. As far as the fifth starter, I think it's Dustin, because of, he's pitched well, getting back. Tony with the little hiccup, just not being able to build up. I think Dustin makes a lot of sense.
Shohei Ohtani is a dude who's eventually going to be in the mix, but kind of a little bit of a slowdown right now. What kind of conversations are you guys having, navigating, building him up while he's also your leadoff guy, your DH, the 2024 MVP? What does that build-up look like as a pitcher?
So the main thing is we get his rehab right. It's the second Tommy John. We have complete trust with Shohei. The conversations are always evolving and free-flowing. We just felt that He's the intensity of games, coming off a left shoulder surgery,
Yeah.
ramping up the workload with the bat, his prep to kind of step off the gas a little bit with the progression of the pitching was smart and prudent.
Yeah.
And so we've always talked about certain players that the main thing for us is to be as well prepared for October. Not to say that, you know, it's a rite of pass that we're going to win the division, get to the postseason, but, you know, with our talent, we should. And we expect
I'll
to.
say it. You're going to win the division.
Okay. Those are your words, Clint, not mine.
Yeah.
But I still expect
We'll put
that.
it in writing.
But so I think that the thing is that with that, just making sure Shohei, whatever we can do, so erring on the side of caution with Shohei and pushing him back a couple weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. And Shohei's all on board.
You know how I know when things are going really right? When you have a man that is the international face of baseball, when you guys land in Tokyo, which I'm still trying to get on the damn plane, even if it's in cargo, when you guys land in Tokyo, they're literally expecting 1 million people to meet you guys at the airport. But yet you have this, he's sweet and he's a funny guy. And you guys have little pranks in the parking lot. I mean, that's pretty special. When you have a guy that is the face of the game and an MVP perennially, and you have so many superstars on your team, and you can still kind of have that fun time, there's something special with that.
There is. And I just think that we are seeing the best version of Shohei in the sense as a person. Obviously, he was 50-50. He had a huge year. He's the best player on the planet. What we are going into when we get to Tokyo, I don't think anyone can really appreciate. But after last spring, and we got to Seoul, and you know, we moved on from the interpreter, Shohei has become his own man, and I think that's been great for the coaches. It's been great for his teammates, most importantly, and I think the fans are starting to, and the media are really starting to see a normal person, where I think that, you know, him not speak English as a second language and being separated from the media and teammates and all this stuff, that you really didn't get a grasp of who this guy was. But I really do believe that when his real personality shows out, then his true talent will show out. And so it's fun for me to hear that funny laugh of his and pull pranks on me and me do it to him, and he just takes it like a champion. It's so much fun.
How do you avoid the World Series hangover? How do you get these guys all bought in when the real games start?
Oh, I mean, we're already bought in. Everyone understands what we're expecting to do. What we're trying to be great for a long period of time, and you know, 24 is done. So this is it's a different year, different ball club. Some of the same faces, but, you know, I think, and I've talked about this before, is you bring in new guys that haven't won a championship, you know, Kirby Yates, Snell, you know, obviously Roki and Conforto. And then you have other guys that are chasing greatness and legacy, and, you know, how do you become the greatest of all time? You win a bunch of championships.
At least 5 rings on that hand.
No, that's right. That's right. And Magic Johnson says that, you know, this is a championship town. And so, you know, from Mark Walter, our owner, on down, you know, the goal is not to run from having the bullseye on your back. Embrace it, and people can say whatever they want about us, and I don't think anyone cares. And so I think, for me, Clint, there's not, letdown is not even in our vocabulary, and there's just a certain standard. And I think that our fans have seen it every single year, how we play baseball.